on board with you with that. Let's talk a little bit about like building wealth. I think this is one of the things that some people don't know about when it comes to financial planning, like working with a financial planner.
Right.
Can you kind of talk about like the different investment options? You kind of were hitting on it a little bit, but kind of talk about it a little bit more and like talk about like compound interest and how your money grows over time, like percentages and what that looks like. Because a lot of people have their money necessarily sitting in a bank account and it's just nothing's happening. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
You know, and people are kind of nervous. I've had friends well educated. I'm like, bro, you should start working with a financial advisor. You should start at least getting like a high yield savings account, something, bro, because your money is
At
just
least.
chilling. Like, and they're hesitant. And I'm like, I don't know why, but maybe this will change their mind. Who knows?
So even me, like when I was young, before I even got into my career, I was even scared of like investing and stuff like that. And it's just because I wasn't educated. I didn't know, right? I didn't know any better. And when I think of investing, I think of risk. I think of losing money. Like that's where my head back then immediately went to.
Oh, now it's high risk.
Now,
you're
I'm
aggressive.
like, oh my gosh, like investing is like the key to building wealth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So there's a lot of, different investments and things like that people could be doing. But what I would say is that if you have less than $1 million of investable assets, my philosophy is that we should be well diversified. So we should not be putting all of our eggs in one basket. That means we should not only be investing in Apple. We should not only be investing in Microsoft. We should not only be investing in Chipotle, Ulta, Target, Walmart, Costco, Starbucks. We should be investing in all of them, right? And so that's my philosophy, is that if you have less than $1 million of investable assets, so you don't have, your investment account is not worth $1 million yet, we need to make sure that we are diversified and covering all grounds. And, in general, like you said, like a high yield savings account, I have a high yield savings account. I love it. It's great.
It's amazing.
I think if you're going to, that's kind of like step one, I think. I always tell my clients, like when it comes to, diversifying your money, the first step is to first make sure that you have a cushion, an emergency fund, right? So if you have your emergency fund in a regular bank account, which is doing like 0.05%, you might get a penny or two every month or so. And I realized that too. It's so crazy because before I knew about a high yield savings account, I saw those like pennies going in my savings.
You were like, oh wow.
I was like, yo, like I need to keep saving in here. Like this is gonna make me rich. And this was before I knew better. I was like, yo, like this is gonna make me freaking rich. Like I need to keep doing this. I earned $10 in interest the one year in my TD savings account, and I was like, yo, like this is dope. Like, I was so happy. I was like, this is fire. And then I actually learned about a high yield savings account when I was still in college, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, wait a minute. Once you learn about a high yield savings account,
over.
You're like, why was I ever saving in my regular bank account?
Right.
So I opened up a high yield savings account, and like high yield savings account on average are probably returning 4.2, 4.25 maybe a month, 4.25%. Depending like which bank you go to. And I always tell people like there's not a right or wrong when it comes to picking a high yield savings account and where to do it. I think just having one is all that matters.
Yeah.
Like don't get into the weeds of, well, this one might have a percentage higher than this one. Like just open one, literally just open one and start putting money in it. And a high yield savings account is great because even though it's not at your regular bank, you still connect your regular bank account to it. So if you need the money, you just transfer some money back. Like it's really not, like rocket science. And I'm like, this is literally like step one to financial planning, is building that, savings cushion. And the place to do it is in your high yield savings. So like we said, like high yield savings are going to return like about like 4.2, 4.25% on average right now. Now it's important to note though that the interest that you earn in a high yield savings account, you do have to pay taxes on at the end of the year. So you do get a 1099 from like wherever you have it. Let's say you have it at Marcus or Ally. They're going to show you how much you've earned in interest in the account, and then you got to show that to your tax person. Now, in a high yield savings account, though, you don't pay state or local tax. You only pay federal tax on it, on the interest that you earned in the year. So that it's very minuscule, the amount of tax that you pay on it. It's still worth it. You know what I mean? The opportunity outweighs the cost by far.
Yeah.
And then we have our investments, right? So investments are going to be high risk, high reward. So obviously with investing, like it's going to be risky, it's connected to the market. But we do know that the more risk you take, obviously the more potential there is for your money to grow. So investments on average are probably returning anywhere from 8 to 10% per year. Last year, investments returned, if you were aggressive, returned on average and probably like 30% last year. The market did
Wow.
really good.
30% is
But
crazy.
if you were aggressive, so they did really well last year. If you were aggressive, if you were a little more conservative, you probably got somewhere in the range of that 8%. That 8% return, which is still good. That's still better than the savings and stuff like that.
8%
You know,
is super lit.
yeah, like that's good. That's average. But we do know that when there's times like COVID and stuff like that, and the market crashes, there's going to be negative returns. And so I always am educating my clients, like, listen, when the market crashes, we don't stop investing. We invest on autopilot. No matter what the market's doing, we're going to keep doing it every
Talk
month.
heavy. Yeah.
You know, and the best time to invest is when the market's down.
It's discounted. It's discounted.
I ask people, I'm like, so on Black Friday, what are you doing, right? When there's Black Friday, you're going and buying everything on sale, right? Why? Because it's on sale and it's cheaper, right? And then what can you do? Let's say you buy something that you got it for $5, and now after Black Friday the price goes back up and it's $25. Well, now you can sell it and make a profit, right? So I compare that to the market all the time, right? I'm like, when the market crashes, that is literally Black Friday for stock and investing, right? That is literally the equivalent of Black Friday. So I always tell my clients, like, when you have extra money that you do not need in your savings, the best time to invest a lump sum of extra money is when we have those market crashes. Because anybody who invested in during COVID made money.
Right.
The market was, oh my God, down so bad. And it went right back up like a year later, and all those people made money.